Hello everyone, welcome to episode 7 of Football Manager, tentatively titled Will Real Kings Fuck Me Twice in a Row? Today, as indicated, we will be taking on Real Kings for the second time in 3 matches, but first, we've got Black Leopards, which should be an easier match than current league positions indicate. We do tend to draw them a lot, but if not, we win. And we're a better team than our current 7th place position indicates. They're a full half star below us, so it should go in our favor. But these things are never certain. That's why we actually have to play the matches. Well, I went from being unexcited about this guy when I started scouting him to now probably actually needing him. Yes, I am still bitter about losing Luke Fleurs. This will potentially be a somewhat short episode because everything's fairly clumped up right now. We're only going to be covering about 3 days in game time. You can see how congested with the suggested squad rotation right now, although I'll probably rotate most of these guys back out on the day of. We're going to train as if they're going to be the starting lineup, though. I mean, most of them aren't terrible. It's more the depth on the bench that I'm not thrilled about if I'm starting these guys. I do have a few more 2-stars than I'd really like, but that's the nature of this team. That's actually good for us. Black Leopards are injury stricken, so they're not going to be starting anything close to their potential. And this is a case where the game is screwing up on generating copy for the news reports because they're talking about like us being in a disappointing 8th place but having a 3-match unbeaten league that's shown some improvement. We haven't had a bad run in the league at any point. We just haven't been playing games at all. Like right now, we're between 2 and 3 games less than just about any other team in the Premiership. So of course we're gonna be farther down the table. Like, yeah, we're sitting on 6 matches played: 8, 7, 9, 9, 7, 7, 9. Of course they're going to have better records than us when they've played 3 or 4 more matches than us. Something I hope they've improved with the newer releases. It's nothing near deal breaking for this being a great game, but it is a little annoying that it can't figure out that no, my team isn't struggling. I just have a schedule that doesn't allow for me having matches. Eriksson stepped up since we lost Fleurs, and he put in an excellent performance. It's nice to see that even though no one's head was really in that match, they never played badly. That's right, I'd forgotten in the layoff between recordings that went all the way to penalty kicks, so we might have to play the weaker team against Black Leopards. This is how problems in this league can really snowball. But I have faith that even my second string can dominate these guys, especially if they're hampered with a ton of injuries. Don't like to see another squad struggling, but I'll take whatever advantages I can get. Oops, didn't really look at this. Still salty that he continues to play well, and I continue to compliment him for it. This is going to be a brutal week. Next week's going to be a little easier. You never like to see your training scenario being fixture congestion. Like in this, we get one overall training session for the entire week. I don't want to sell Ladisu. But I don't actually have an issue with Chip as coach. I assume he doesn't like me. I'm fairly indifferent to him. This is nice to see that we're having virtually no injuries. That's incredibly rare. I mean, sure, a lot of people are recovering from little nicks and knocks, but usually by now I've got like 4 or 5 guys out for a couple months. Is there even anyone? Oh, Safema, I have to limit his minutes. That's unfortunate, but he's coming off an ankle injury, so it makes sense. 25 degrees, good pitch, and that's nice to see. Oh yeah, they're in trouble. They got a guy suspended. 3 players out injured. Another guy's doubtful. 2 other guys are doubtful. So that'll work in our favor. And we're able to switch in a couple of our better players. I don't love starting Safema this soon after his injury. But we saw how bad Human was. I really don't want to start Human, so I'm going to have to bite the bullet and put him in. I mean, he's 3 stars and has fitness issues, but Rowan Human is just terrible. With that change, he's not even good enough to make my bench. Like, that's how bad he is. But the big problem is that we're playing Melula. I really need to get someone in his place. Mabakwane is only decent as well. I need to put him forward. And Shabalala's not great, but I don't mind as much if my attacking players aren't great. I don't need to score a ton to win the match. It's more my defensive players, and we're still recovering from that incredibly long match 2 days ago. So I'll take having a weaker team here. Hopefully I can still pull out a win. I've got Mabule, and he's been doing well for us. I might have to wear him out here and then take him off against Real Kings again. Because I did feel like for most of the match with Real Kings we were the better team, and then towards the end focus started becoming a real issue. And our players just checked out because they were stressed about issues in the team. and it let Real Kings back in, and then they took us to the shootout where I no longer had any control. But hypothetically, we should be able to get the league into the win in the Premiership. We're not putting on a very exciting show here, but the highlights are all ours, which is nice to see. I'm alright with us having a very boring match. Collecting the W and walking off here. This is not going to be one for the fans. This is, especially since we're away, but this is just to get it knocked out. And that's exactly what I needed. Traore coming in with the goal. Now I can afford to just have shitty attackers on for the rest of the match and not worry about it, as long as my defense holds up. And that's the problem with a 2-star defender. I can't count on that. We got a good traveling contingent out there on the stands, though, so hopefully we do them proud. This is going to be a tense one, though, because I'm really not happy with the team I'm starting today. And they're making... They made a stupid mistake there. That's the first one. Oh, that was lucky. That was lucky. But it was a really bad mental mistake on our side. Midlovo continues to be my best goaltender. And this is where their weak mental resolve is really showing. Instead of attacking up through some of the openings through the sections of the pitch there, I just tried to gesture at them like that could be seen. But instead of attacking through some of the open gaps, they just passed the ball around very defensively, and now they've lost possession of it. I don't love how weak their mental stats are, but like I've said in other videos, the coaching staff is good enough at the other stuff that I can't really afford to shuffle away coaches and try to find someone that's better at training the mental without risking losing all the physical attributes that they're very good at. Right now we just need to hold it together for 5 minutes, and then they get a break and can reset a bit mentally. And I'll probably actually be subbing in some better players, because the main reason their starters aren't on isn't injuries, it's just resting people who need to be fresh in the next match. Okay, I feel really good now. We're up by 2. This should be a lead we can hold. Mabule, once again, is being the hero of the team. He's definitely the best signing I've made this season. Him and Traore play really well together, which is good because Traore was underwhelming last season. Don't love how passive we're being. I could yell at them to try to wake them up, but it's 3 minutes to halftime. I don't want to risk messing them up worse by yelling at them. These guys don't always respond too well to getting directives. They tend to get confused. My God, they've been hitting the bar a lot today, though. But yeah, yelling directives from the sideline can be a very powerful tool, but it depends on your squad. Some squads react well to it, and some just get completely rattled, get thrown completely off their game, and everything falls apart. Like everything, it's a double-edged sword, and you got to figure out what works for the group you have. And I've learned with these guys, they don't respond well to it. Hopefully that break served to get their heads back in the match a little bit. If not, we'll see what happens in 15 minutes when I start making subs. Although my first sub is almost guaranteed to be Sefema. Because he's only medically cleared for 60 minutes. That could potentially push it, but I haven't seen anything from him to make me feel like I really want to keep him in. After those first 30 minutes, I haven't really seen anything positive from most of my squad. But, Traore's getting penalized. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Sefema out here. I don't want him getting hurt. He's only putting in a 6.8 performance. Like, my other option would probably be Adam. But I can put Nick Selle in. More youth on the defensive positions is not ideal. And he's not terribly strong at any of these positions at 1.5 star. But this is mostly to try to prevent injury. I don't want Sefema going back on the shelf. If I can get a third one, I'll feel really good here. I could not, but I doubt they can pull back 3 goals in 25 minutes. They could potentially do 2 and tie it up, but I can't see them winning right now. Unless we get a red card, of course. I swear I didn't know it was going to be a red card when I said that. Alright, so we're going to have to... At least it was my shitty defender. We're going to have to pull you into the center there a little more. It's white knuckle time now. Changing us to very defensive at this point. We're not trying to get anything back. We're just trying to hold on. Fortunately, they're starting to make mistakes too. Shabalala started playing like shit. So I guess I'll put Manaka in for him. Another sub I don't love making, but because I'm going to have to pull Manaka. We can pull him in, but let's see. Mabule can play over there. He's not going to be great, but it's better than what I had by keeping Manaka there. Mabule is going to be disappointing, but like I said, I don't mind that on an attacking player. And at least Manaka's decent in this role. It's not great, but it's what I got to do with a thin bench. And we're still 2 goals up with 13 minutes to play. There's a good chance we can white knuckle this to the finish. That was actually a pretty dangerous attack, given that we're playing very defensively right now. Alright, last sub. Getting some decent perform. Actually, everyone's playing pretty well. I think I just sub Adam here because he's getting the most tired. You can see Siasi I'd really like to have in, but he's still very tired after last game. So I'm going to have to put in Motong. Oof, he's real bad at this position. Really don't like that, but it's what I've got available to me. I think this game's actually proving to be one of the reasons this save has just spoken to me, though, because most leagues have really logical schedules where everyone plays the same amount of games at about the same time. If you don't have a league game midweek, you just don't play those weeks, and the schedule's not too brutal. South Africa will just throw stuff at you, and you got to deal with it, and it keeps it very interesting to actually have to manage the match. Like, this feels like a situation that I probably wouldn't run into in any other league, and it's really fun to try to deal with it. Because it might seem like I'm complaining a lot about the way this match has been playing out. And I am, because it's not been going great for me, but it's actually a lot of fun to deal with it. 4 more minutes, so we've won this match despite everything going wrong. Because they're not going to score twice in 4 minutes. Mbui, I think that's how you say that. Good goal from him. I was expecting them to break through once, but I don't think they're going to do it again. This was just the terrible back line that I've had to put in because of fatigue and injuries and Saudis and yellow cards. Knox is back down to 6. We've still got a couple games in hand. Giving them a corner was actually great there because it lets us crowd the box. And Nidlovu does his thing. Like 90% of corners against us seem to play out exactly that way. It's a little dangerous here depending on when the ref whistles it, but there's almost no time left. Oh wow, they actually did score twice in 4 minutes. Still, a draw is okay given the circumstances. I don't love drawing multiple matches in a row, but we're pretty well off as long as we don't lose. That should be the last action of the game. He's rushing out a kick all the way down to Matong, but it's starting to seem like the board may have had a better read on this year's squad than I did. Because I was shooting for trying to win the league. It looks like top half is about where we should be finishing, so the board actually has a pretty good read on the team this year. And unfortunately, that's all they expect from me, so. Or we can steal this match a minute and a half past when the match should have ended. That feels really good. But like I was saying, we're only expected to get top half of the league in the Premiership this year, so picking up a couple of draws really isn't that bad. I think my new board might actually be more reasonable than the old one, because these guys seem to understand that I just don't have squad depth. You remember when I was saying this was going to be a boring match that was probably going to suck for the fans? 3 goals in 4 minutes of stoppage time, I think, changed that. That was actually Mattia's first ever appearance for us. Nedlovo made his 125th. Shabalala made his debut. Traore scored his first ever goal for us. This was a good game for new faces. And now most of our starting 11 should be rested up for Real Kings. We're 10 points back of Orlando Pirates with 2 less matches played. So we're probably not catching them. Or Sundowns, but third is definitely in play. I would be happy to get third this season. Melula got suspended for 2 matches. I might not have a body to stick in that slot. Referee was justified. Yeah, I'm definitely going to fine him. Let's actually check out the incident. Top down is not the best way to judge what's happening there. Because I didn't think he did anything bad when I said unless we get a red card. I was just hedging my bets. Oh, it looked like he dove and shoved an arm in. Yeah, that's a definite red card. That was 100% a red card play. Really can't be mad about that one. We actually didn't manage to have the player of the match there. I'm not shocked by that because we kind of fell apart towards the end. That was a gutsy performance from the boys, though. And now we can sub much more the actual starting lineup I want to have in. Mirsavjevic's going to have to carry a pretty heavy load for the next 2 matches. I think he's literally the only player I have available that can play in that spot right now. But yeah, this is, I mean, we still got Human in, which I don't love. Hopefully I can get someone else in that spot. And Shabalala's starting again. Don't love that either, but it's a lot better, and we're comfortable favorites against Real Kings. which is interesting given that we lost last time, but we were playing badly, and that's really a draw because we lost on penalties. Just for the sake of thoroughness, yeah, Real Kings is half a star below us too. We should comfortably dominate them. There's absolutely nothing for the board to be critical of me right now. That's really nice. Although, that spending's probably an issue. Um, I don't think those guys are going to be fresh enough for the first team anyway this match. Once again, no one played badly. Good. Hopefully these negotiations go well. It'll be nice to have another fullback come January. Archman is not good in that position. Wide indirect. Don't have a lot of people that are really good at long distance free kicks. Only 1 to 2 defenders. What do I have? Three defenders. Who can I? Mirosavic, I think, can play as covering just as well. It should solve that problem. Nothing interesting there. I tend to just skim through the progression observations because I can usually read that information for myself, and it's not overly impactful on the day-to-day operation of the match. That 2-day break after this match is starting to look really good. I'm less bothered by that. He's a striker. I was hoping to grab him, but looks like Sakot Long is interested in signing with us, and I'm more interested in that fullback now. I sent those contracts out before I lost Fleurs. Okay, I'm only good for 75 minutes with Safama again. This match. At least he's recovering quickly because I'm actually listening to the doctors. Good conditions. Our pitch is okay. It's about as good as it's been in 2 years. Yeah, here we go. Now I'm starting to be able to put out a squad I'm actually happy with. I've got Senamella out there, despite only being... Actually, no. Safema that was limited to 75 minutes, and he's going to be off the bench today. So I don't have to worry about monitoring anyone's safety, which is nice. And I can actually field a pretty strong team here. I don't love Senamella being out there because he's not really got the match sharpness I want right now. But he's definitely the best option I have. It looks like they're playing super defensive. So, this should go substantially better than the cup match. This is the match where I really have to be on my guard against injuries, though, but I was able to rotate pretty good against Black Leopards, so it's less of an issue than I expected it to be. Walker was being stupid with the ball there. Their weak mental stats are going to show on this match because as people get tired, they start making more mental mistakes. And even though most of the first team was fit enough to start this match, everyone is definitely feeling the schedule. Except maybe Margman. I really haven't played him much. Nixelli has been doing good. This moves us into 5th, assuming we stay in 1st. Oh god, those are hideous uniforms. Not sure who thought the orange shorts were a good choice. Oh, come on, Mergeman, don't keep getting carded. I need you. Now I'm getting to play Motung up where I actually want him to be playing instead of back attempting to be a wingback. They're confused by the lack of openings. Looks like Siassi's managed to create a gap though. If he can keep control of the ball. They're not very decisive at all today. This is what happens with low mental stats, and I'm getting tired there. Not seizing openings. They're making stupid mistakes and getting yellow carded. That was a nice recovery, though. I'm going to have to tell them to smarten up on those yellow cards if they keep that up. I can't afford getting another red card today. I can't lose more people right now. Because I'm going to need to start actually sending people off on rest soon, too. And if I'm getting suspensions on top of that, it's going to get real ugly real fast. We're going to be playing some of the kids that are not fit to be out on the senior team yet. Sanaga's been doing great. nice goal. Don't love having to tell Motung to back off the tackles, but it's the right choice. George doesn't play for me. I'm not terribly bothered that he picked up a knock. And someone was getting tired right at the end there. But we're on the break, so not a big issue. Whoever it was, should be able to hold it together for another 10 minutes. And then or 15 minutes, and then we'll take a look at it when we get down to 60 minutes. I don't want to make a sub at 45. That's really the only time I substitute people at friendlies during regular matches. I usually like to hold it to 60. Just a yellow card for Grimlead. Drew us a penalty, though. If Walker can score this, we're really well off. He didn't make it pretty, but it worked. Led to an own goal off Leaner. He deserved that for the way he treated us with all those stops during the cup match. I'm pretty sure even though this is our home pitch, we're technically the away team here, so scoring 2 goals feels pretty good. Siasi got a yellow, Sinago got a yellow. Geez, people are getting a lot of mistakes. And yeah, fatigue's really setting in for the guys I've been expecting a lot from. He's not one of the most tired guys, but Walker's playing like absolute dog shit. I gotta pull him off. And it's recommending I put Traore in. But I'm gonna put Mbule because he can at least actually play that position. If possible, I want to make like-for-like substitutions, especially up 2. I know Mbule is really bad at that position, but stops me from restructuring the entire team. Oh. 10 minutes went so fast I almost missed my second sub. I think at this point it's going to be Eriksson. Eriksson or McQuaquina? McQuaquina is a lot fresher, but he's playing really badly. Yeah, I think I gotta get rid of him. I'm gonna put in Traore. He's a little fresher than Toure. Weak attempt from George then. There. Can't be too hard on him. The man's injured. See if I need to make any changes. No, Traore's good as is. He's actually decent at the position. This is the situation I don't like, where I'm running people ragged, but I have to. Like, Margeman at 54%. I'd really love to take him off, but he's playing too well. It's got to be Eriksson. Put McFarlane in for Eriksson. He's really not great in that position, but with lack of depth, this is what I have to do. And honestly, we rode out this 3-game stretch better than I thought we would. We're probably going to have to be careful who we play in the next match. But that's a throwaway cup match against a really weak team. I'm completely okay with that. I was hoping to get 2 wins today. I didn't really expect it just because of the difficulty of the schedule. Somehow that was McFarlane's 50th appearance. And everything else is for Real Kings. Demoralized a couple of people there, probably because they're tired. I can see them just not taking things well, but we moved up to 5th. We still have 2 games in hand on a lot of the clubs ahead of us. And we're only 2 points off 2nd place. This is how fast things can change in this league. Nick Saleh, who I wasn't thrilled to be starting, ended up being player of the match, so that's really nice to see. So I'll just hop over to our schedule here and let you know what we have next time. We've got an easy match against this squad from Mozambique that I'm going to use as a rest day and try to sub in some or start some weaker players just to let my good players get a bit more of a rest. Because then we've got Pirates in the league and we'll almost certainly lose this match. Pirates in the league is not the same as Pirates in the Cup. I know we bullied them in that Cup match, but this is a little different. So that's going to go badly, probably, but we do have Ferroviario da Beira, which should be just seal clubbing, basically. So anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in, and hopefully I see you next time. Bit of a short one today, but that's alright.